remember how I talked to you guys about this. So let me bring this up here. Let's go over to the big board and talk a little bit about Bitcoin.
Bitcoinzilla stands out with its simplicity and clarity. We've crafted an experience that anyone can dive into, whether you're a crypto expert or just a new to the crypto world. Now guess who keeps his eye on us? The author of best-selling book Rich Dad Poor Dad, Robert Kiyosaki. And we want to take this opportunity and thank all the people who trusted us, and we read every comment. And the best part, it's free. Subscribing now means you will get all new information for free. Don't just follow the trends, stay ahead of them. Subscribe to Bitcoinzilla today and enjoy the new edge. In this video, let's discuss these topics and more.
Here's your pre-market action in the S&P 500. If we take a look, this was yesterday. We had that nice little update, kind of came here. After hours, this is where the market closed. After hours, we started to trend up. And then this morning at 4 in the morning, the rocket ship up as the futures were up on the essential knowing of the outcome of the elections. Now, since that initial candle, look at how tight of a range the market has been in. But the kicker here is this. If we go to that daily chart of the S&P 500, we know we broke below and we kind of kissed this level. We never hit it though. But today we're seeing a pushback up basically right up in this range. Now, I have a question here. And the question is, we've talked about how your upside max move on the S&P is 6,000 to 6,100. Well, today we're going to be about 5,900 on the S&P, basically 100 points away from that 6,000 level. What's interesting is if you extend these lines out up here, and let's just take in sense and say it takes a little while to get up there, you might have a retrace to the scene of the crime of the wedge pattern that also coincides with that 6,000 to 6,100 level on the S&P 500. And I've said this to you guys before, I even just mentioned it to members, is that if we get up there, I'm planning to take a big position in a put play on the S&P 500. I'm going to give myself lots of times, but I'm talking about $1 million position on puts on the S&P up there. I have so many confluences of levels and factors up there that I'm willing to give it a bigger shot on puts on the S&P 500. All right. I'll keep you posted on that, guys. As always, if I take an options play, I don't mind revealing it here. I don't have any options services here at Verified Investing, so you guys can get those first out. Okay, so that's where we are. We're looking at a gap up on the S&P. Again, the question is, do we come back into this level? And that should be that big resistance. And again, here's 590, right? So 590 here. So you have to figure right up here is 600 on the SPY, and that would be that $6,000 target. Now, most stocks are ripping today, but you know which one is having the biggest move here? It's Tesla. Tesla, again, Elon Musk, he ponied up, he kind of buddied up with Donald Trump. He really helped get him elected, you could argue, and now the stock is seeing the repercussions or the payback. And what I mean by that is that the stock on Tesla, if we go to my chart here, having a massive move, almost 15%. Now, it has come off the highs just a little bit here, but a massive move to the upside. And again, the idea here is very simple, right? Is that Donald Trump is someone who, if you help him out, he helps you back. All right, it's kind of a quid pro quo and a quo in a way. But ultimately, you have to expect that somehow Tesla will get favored. Now, the only thing that's interesting here is that Tesla sells about 40% of their vehicles in China. How does this work with the tariffs that Donald Trump's talking about putting on China, right? I mean, we're talking about massive tariffs, massive increases in tariffs on Chinese goods and so forth. Is there some sort of issue where there's retaliation back on Tesla? We will find out. But these are little things that as an investor you want to pay attention to. Now, if we look at the chart, where is your next key level? Because it's pretty clear we're going to break well above this channel or this wedge pattern right here. The only level I see today, there's two levels. There's a gap fill right here at 292 and then an even number of 300. So in terms of trading this today, and this is, by the way, when I say trading, I have no care about where this goes a week from now or a month from now. It's literally today. And the level here is between 292 and 300 as a shortable intraday level. That should be significant resistance on the chart based on probabilities and technical analysis.
The crypto market is on the rise amid expectations of Trump's 2024 presidential win, driving trading volume and leading to significant liquidations. Crypto market cap rises 10.5% to $2.47 trillion. Bitcoin reaches a new all-time high of $75,397. Trump's election lead viewed as bullish for crypto industry. Stock market gains mirror the crypto rally. Over $500 million in liquidations from short positions.
So remember over the last couple days how I'm saying how Bitcoin had kissed the double top here, going back over to the all-time highs, but it didn't pierce, and how unusual that is that it doesn't pierce. Because usually when you get double tops, you go up, you pull back, you go up, and you pierce that double top by a fraction, and then you pull back. And it didn't do that here. And so that was a flag that told me we could see another push up. Well, guess what? Donald Trump wins the White House. He's favored by crypto. Crypto rips up, goes to 75. Now look, it's pulling back to the 74 double top. Where does it go from here? Honestly, I'm not sure. I'm going to let the charts tell me. Does it confirm above that level? That'll be something I watch. There's also a key trend line. You can see a second trend line at 75, which again goes back. I can show you guys that in just a second where that comes from. But ultimately, this is now at least achieving that pierce of the double top, the all-time high that you would have expected on cryptocurrency. The big question again is, does it lose at this point? The only thing I would just caution people, I know there's a lot of big crypto players out there. Remember, it is still a risk asset. As long as the stock market stays strong, I think this could go up. But if the stock market gets weak, I think Bitcoin comes in heavily. All right, I want to show you where that second trend line comes from here, guys, where we hit it on the pop. If we zoom out on the charts here, look at this. If you take the high from 2021, that was the $69,000 high, and you connect it to this high, look at the exact high of today, right there. Power of trend lines, man. Trend lines are amazing. Absolutely amazing. All right, gold. Let's talk some gold. Now, you guys know I love gold in the long term, but I was short gold in the near term. All right, and I told you guys that with commodity members, I was short gold in the near term. Why? Well, because I just follow the charts. Here's your chart on gold. We have a parallel channel, hit the high end. It was overdone. There was too much bullish sentiment out there on gold. It needed a correction. So I bought GLL, which is a 2x long. If you go long GLL, it's a 2x ETF that's short gold. I already covered half this morning. Or I should say I sold because it was a long ETF. But we just took half off right here, folks, because it's hitting the midpoint of the parallel channel. Second exit would be right here. And this is the beauty of it, is that I'm a huge long-term fan of gold. I continue to be. I still have my long-term holdings in gold. It doesn't mean that I can't play short-term moves and make some extra income by knowing what's highest probability could happen. And look at that drop on gold. Now, why is gold dropping? Well, because there's certainty. There was so much worry going into this election. In fact, we talked about it. Would we not know the election results today? Maybe not by this weekend. Was there going to be violence? It seems like, and I say seems like, but it seems like it's relatively orderly right now, and we know the results. And that takes off some of the reason for holding this. In addition, the U.S. dollar. I mean, I showed you the chart of the U.S. dollar. The U.S. dollar is surging, so therefore that also puts pressure on gold. But again, we made a nice little score on half of our position, exiting here on the short on gold. My next target would be right down here. The beauty of taking half off is that if it goes back up here and retags, I can always add that short back at a better price and then have my dollar cost average even closer to these highs for any sort of pullback again. It's a maneuverability of being a trader, and it's freaking awesome, being able to maneuver and doing half on, half off type scenarios.
Bitcoin's price surge to $75,000 triggers mass liquidations of short positions, as analysts emphasize the strength of spot demand driving the rally. Bitcoin reaches $75,000 on Coinbase, surpassing March 2024's peak. $180 million in short positions liquidated in just 4 hours. Analysts say real coin purchases drive sustainable growth. Markets expect daily fluctuations of 4 to 5% post-election. Analysts predict Bitcoin could reach $100,000 by Q1 2025. Bitcoin mining company Riot Platforms reported a 23% increase in Bitcoin production in October, driven by increased hash rate and operational efficiency. Binance has contributed $3 million to Spain's Red Cross to support relief efforts following devastating floods in Valencia. A judge ordered millions seized in a Kansas crypto fraud scheme be returned to defrauded investors, marking partial relief for victims of the bank collapse. UBS forecasts silver will outperform as it gains from economic growth and industrial demand, positioning it as a dual hedge and growth asset for investors. Economists are calling on China to curb the risks associated with holding over $3.3 trillion in its forex reserves. The concerns are directed at the possible measures the upcoming U.S. president might take against the country, including tariffs and unilateral sanctions. Bitcoin's mining difficulty has climbed past an unprecedented 100 trillion, marking a new peak in the complexity of finding blocks on the network. The U.S. dollar has been wielded as a weapon of oppression, a Russian official argues, accelerating its decline as the world's reserve currency as price-hit nations pursue currency alternatives. At around 3 p.m. ET on Sun, November 3, just 2 days shy of U.S. Election Day, betting markets show a close contest heating up between former President Donald Trump and current Vice President Kamala Harris. If you've been with us so far, a big thank you. Don't forget to subscribe for free to Bitcoin Zella for your daily news. The link is waiting below. That's all for today's crypto news. Stick around for more updates, insights, and analysis on cryptocurrencies. Share your thoughts in the comments, like this video, and subscribe for more exciting content.